This is a recording of this year's Virtual Residency Fair. We'd like to take the time to thank the programs that volunteered their time to present to this year's applicants. This year's PM&R Scholars Virtual Residency Fair is supported by PM&R Recap and Ultrasound Guidance. PM&R Recap is the leading resource for your physiatry board preparation, clinical preparation, audition rotations, and beyond. PM&R Recap offers 35 hours of review videos, hundreds of review questions, and oral board cases to help you become the best physiatrist that you can be. Head to pmnrrecap.com to learn more. Ultrasound Guidance is the innovative new online ultrasound learning platform that gives you instant access to expert instruction. With rapid scans and complete scans of every joint and peripheral nerve, Ultrasound Guidance is the perfect way to jumpstart your MSK ultrasound learning. Visit ultrasoundguidance.com to learn more.
Are we good? Can you hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Okay. We'll go ahead and get started. So my name is Jonathan Singh. I'm a PGY2 here at Mercy Hospital. We are sponsored by Good Samaritan Hospital, but a majority of our training happens at Mercy Hospital. A few years ago, I was watching these videos and I was on the other side. So it is an absolute pleasure to be here and giving you guys this presentation. So we'll go ahead and get started. This is our hospital, Mercy Hospital. We're located in Rockville Center. I'll go ahead and get into it, but essentially we are on Long Island. We're about 45 minutes or so east of New York City. So it is much more of a suburban feel as opposed to the city itself. All right. So here's a little bit about the rotations that we have. We have a large variety of elective rotations available for everyone, from everything from interventional spine to spasticity, muscular dystrophy, pediatric orthopedics, pediatric neurosurgery. I'll let you guys go ahead and read them. I really, being a PGY2, I haven't done all of these rotations myself, but of the elective time that I've had so far, it has been very diverse. Our preceptors are absolutely fantastic because we are a small program. They really do take pride in mentoring us and really helping us develop in our career. Majority of your PGY2 year is spent inpatient, as with most programs, just to really get a good feel and front load. And as you go through PGY 3 and 4, you get more and more elective time. So here's a few pictures of our inpatient. These pictures don't really do the unit justice, and we can't really capture all of the unit, but our therapy facilities are much larger than this. The rooms are very large and they have most of your standard equipment that you would expect in most inpatient rehabilitation units. We do have 37 beds in our inpatient unit. And a little bit about our resident education. So we do most of our resident education during our didactic time on Fridays from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. That is protected time. So you don't have any other responsibilities at that time. So you can just focus on your didactics. And didactics include these things: journal club, therapy and services, electrodiagnostics, ultrasound, workshops, anatomy review. And then we also have ground rounds available through our hospital and the Catholic Health Services of Long Island. This month we had a stroke month. We do have a huge say in the type of didactics and the things that we want to learn, and our mentors and our preceptors are very, very responsive to that. So we have a huge say in what we want to learn. So for this month, we went a lot through our radiology with our radiologist, our neuroanatomy with our neurologist. We had a diverse lectures on stroke itself. And then last week we spent a few hours on on learning Botox and spasticity management with our electric dummies. So that was great. We have, like I said, we have a huge say. So that continues to develop as we go through the years. And it's been fantastic so far. This is our call room and our conference room. Like I said, having only 9 of us in the program, 8 of us currently, we don't require much space. So here's our conference room and our call room. We actually don't spend much time in our call room. but it has all of our essentials, our refrigerator, computers, etc. We typically have a lunch from 12 to 1 where we all get together and hang out before we go back to our other responsibilities. The next couple of slides, we just kind of go over the research that we have done in the years past. This isn't a comprehensive list by any means. There's actually a few years that are missing from here, but these are just a taste of some of the things that we're working on. You know, post concussions and just some other inpatient topics as well. Every week, you know, we are talking about research and doing more research. And our program is very responsive to that and giving us resources and helping us achieve that. We are sponsored by Good Samaritan, like I said earlier, and with that comes with a lot of resources and attendings to facilitate research that is relevant to the fellowship opportunities and postgraduate opportunities that we're seeking. So resident involvement. Like I said, because there's 8 or 9 of us, we do have a lot of opportunity to get involved. One of the unique things about Mercy Hospital is that there aren't any other residents on site at our hospital. So we are the only ones. And that's why we get a lot of time with attendings. And we get to be involved in a lot of different things outside of, you know, strictly rehab. So there's a lot of administrative opportunities. There's a lot of community opportunities and quality improvement opportunities and things like that we get to get involved with, which are great for building a resume and networking outside of the field as well. So a little bit about our call schedule. On weekdays, once you're finished at around 5:30 from the inpatient unit, you know, you take over call if you're on call that day, and your responsibilities last from 5:30 to 10 p.m. But typically, you get to go home at 7, and the remainder of call is at home unless there's an emergency. And then overnight from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. the next day, the house PA will typically cover. So you're typically able to get your 8 hours of sleep before you show up to work the next day. On weekends, you know, when you're on call, you are covering floor responsibilities from 7 a.m. technically until 10 p.m. Typically, you would spend, you can leave the hospital around noon. So 7 a.m. to noon is when you would have to be there. And if everything is stable and everyone is doing well, you're able to finish the remainder of call from home. Call frequency, you typically take 5 to 7 calls as a PGY2. As you can see here, that call decreases as you go through the rest of residency, typically like how it does at other programs. So a little bit about our program benefits. We like to include that because obviously living on Long Island and closer to the city, cost of living is higher. And so the program has taken a lot of steps prior to me coming here to make sure that you're able to be comfortable and live comfortably. And so we included like our salaries here, so that is not a concern. Obviously rent, insurance, and things like that are typically more expensive. Being a part of being sponsored by Good Samaritan Catholic Health Services, we have amazing insurance benefits. I've signed up for the insurance, and we with our dental insurance, we have 4 cleanings a year. We have vision insurance included, and with our health insurance, you are given a primary care provider, and you typically have 0 copay, especially if you stay within the Catholic Health Services. So we really do a really good job of trying to take care of our employees. Also included, our program does give you the AA PM&R question bank and membership. You do get 5 days, conference days in your every year. And then you also get free parking. Being more suburban, you do have to drive to work. I wouldn't say that local transportation or public transportation is readily available for you to commute around. It is suburban people drive. You do get a free parking spot. Parking is not an issue at all. Commuting is typically not an issue at all. Traffic is not that bad around here in Long Island. Here are some of our faculty members. like I said, they all are all very diverse in their practices, and they all do, they all have their different specialties. So, like I said, they've been great so far, and I've yet to meet the others, but it has been a fantastic experience so far. And here are some of our current residents. Our two chiefs, Parth, who is joining me on this call to answer some of your questions, and then Sophia. We're super proud of them. Both of them have matched to their top choices in their interventional spine fellowships. And so we're very, very proud of them. And then we're joined by Keith, Michael, and Rory, both of our PGY3s. And then myself, Benjamin, Cooper, and Tarek make up our incoming, our PGY2 class. Again, there's 8 residents right now, but we got approved for an additional spot. So in the years to come, there will be 9 of us. And then just a taste of some of the extracurricular activities that we do. This does not encompass, the multiple things that we've done, but some of the recent things. There are a lot of vineyards and wineries very close to us, especially east of us and north of us. And so that is something fun that we typically, this photo was taken a few weeks ago. We went out there and we had a great time. On the top right, we do participate in volunteering for the NYC Marathon as well. So we just created a team for this year. I just signed up, and we'll be doing that on November 11th. And we'll be working at the finish line, which will be a really, really good experience. And these are some of our older photos below of our residents in years past. We're very collegial here. We all hang out. We have a great time. I'd say that this is one of the top things about our program is the people. We really do have an awesome time, and there's an endless amount of things to do, which I'll touch on in a little bit here later. And then here are some of the programs that some of our previous residents and current residents have matched to. We have a really strong match rate. Like I said, being small, we're very supportive of, from the get-go, supporting our residents in achieving their career goals. And then a little bit about New York. Like I said, we're about a 40-minute train ride to New York City. Depending on how east or far or west you decide to live from Rockville Center. For me, I live more east, and so it's a 40-minute ride for me. I was actually in Manhattan all day with my co-residents today. We watched the Formula One race this morning, and then we just hopped around and explored different neighborhoods throughout the day. But we do have all of the great things in your free time that New York City has to offer available to you. In my short time that I've been living up here, I've already gone to Broadway. We do have several beaches to explore. Our program in Rockville Center is about 20 minutes north of Long Beach. And so we actually have 2 of our residents who live pretty much beachfront and choose to, live on the beach and have all those, the great benefits of that, at least in the summertime, outside of work. We have every restaurant that you can imagine and cuisine available to you. So there's tons of Michelin star restaurants. Sports are huge. It's, a lot of our residents go and are catching games during the weekdays and on the weekends. And so that's another thing that's available to you. Like I said, a lot of great opportunities here in the city, and then also if outside of the city as well. On the weekends, you do have the ability to drive north of the city and explore upstate and the great things that they have to offer as well. All right, I think those were the big things. Did we have any questions? Any questions, anyone?
Hey guys, my name is Parth. I'm one of the chiefs here. I'm actually on call today, so luckily John was able to help me out and do most of the presentation, but I'll try to fill in for some of these questions. Could you speak to residents with families and kids? So one of my co-residents, Sophia, actually, she gave birth during our PGY2 year. maybe like September, October time. So really fresh into residency. He's doing fantastic. She has a cute little boy. It's totally fine. There's plenty of time, especially as you become more of a senior. You have much more time on the outpatient side to really kind of manage your day however you need to not only meet your educational requirements, but spend time at home with the family. Me, myself, I mean, I don't have kids yet, but I'm close with both sets of my parents, my in-laws. So I'm always traveling out of state every single weekend. I'm only here on Long Island, maybe once a month, if anything. So plenty of time to handle the family stuff. Mentorship opportunities in the program. So, I mean, we get assigned a mentor and an advisor as soon as we get here. And that's kind of just, if you portray any sort of interest, like let's say, for example, you want to go into sports or you want to go into interventional spine, then we'll try to assign an attending or at least a senior to help mentor you in that pathway. And obviously, your ideas or your wishes might change over time. So it's not set in stone. If you have another attending that you think you click with a little bit more, or you want to go into another field, it's very easy to go ahead and switch that up. So I think that's an easy route to head towards. A lot of exposure to ultrasound and EMG. So EMG, we got a lot of exposure, but we wanted a little bit more in depth. So for that, we actually just signed up for a rotation with one of our neighboring hospitals and programs at NUMIC, or Nassau University Medical Center. So that's actually currently where I'm at for this month. And it's been fantastic. We really get the time to kind of sit down, work on the EMGs, the nerve conductions, and really kind of understand what we're doing there. Ultrasound is something that we're building in. We have dedicated workshops. So we like going to NYIT because we're affiliated with them. So we use their labs for a lot of different things. Anatomy lab, where we have the cadaver workshops, anatomy review period with the cadavers and the professors. So that's good. And then some of their staff, especially like their EM docs, will come in and host workshops for us to go over musculoskeletal ultrasound. We also see a lot of it in the office setting where we're hands-on with the ultrasound and we will be doing injections and whatnot. What do you believe is the most unique part of your program? I'd say because we're small and because we're the only residents at our program, one of the biggest culture shocks for me was that coming from my prelim program, which was at Morristown in Jersey. It was a fairly big place with a whole bunch of different residents. You're kind of used to that hierarchy, like that structure where the intern should contact the senior should contact the attending. And then if anything, if you need to call another service, you go through their line of command also. Here at Mercy, we're essentially just treated like attendings. So if I need to call vascular, like right now, for example, let's say my patient went for a duplex and they have a DVT, and it's a little bit extensive and I need to call vascular, I'll just shoot him a text message. And even if he's not on call today, he'll respond back to me with, easy recommendations. So I guess that's pretty unique for us, is being that, any attending that I would ever want, even on a weekend, even at 8:40, if he's probably in Hawaii on vacation, I'll get a response back within 30 minutes. People love getting their consults here, so it's easy to get done. We're also pretty adaptable because we're small. It's easy to make change because there's not that many moving parts that you need to kind of handle. How do you rotate through the call schedule throughout the year, or is it just during inpatient? So we do take call throughout the whole year. The only times that you're not on call at Mercy itself would be if you're on your elective rotation. So we get 2 electives. Typically, it's either PGY 3 or 4, especially if you want to go into a specific fellowship. You don't take call during those 2 months. So you can do those elective rotations anywhere in the country that you want. So we've had previous seniors that have gone out to like Alabama. They saw a program that they liked in Alabama. So she went out there and she doesn't have to worry about call at all. Also, when we do our TBI and our SCI months over at Burke Hospital, we don't take Mercy inpatient call. We just take their call, which for us, it works out. It's only twice a month, a Wednesday and a Sunday. You get a post call day and they're 24 hour calls. After like 7 or 10 o'clock, you get to sleep. I only got woken up like one time in my total 4 calls there. Do residents rotate at a single clinical site, or are they required to travel between sites? Traveling is a decently big part of our program, so you definitely need a reliable car. Some of our rotations are set up so that half the week you might be at one office and the other half of the week you might be at another office. I'd say that's maybe like 2 out of the 5 or 6 sets of rotations that we have. For the most part, obviously inpatient and consults, that's all done at Mercy. And those other rotations, NUMIC is all there, Burke is all there. Dr. Rye's rotation with wound care, all there. Wound care, prosthetics, orthotics, spasticity, that stuff is all there. But definitely have a good car, a reliable car, so you can get back and forth between these places. How much EMG exposure does the program offer, and when do residents usually start? So I kind of touched on the EMG exposure before. Residents can start as soon as day one doing EMGs because there's always a senior in house to help out if anything. And if the senior's not there, the attending will just kind of do the study themselves and at least try to walk the PGY2 through the study process, just to kind of get a hang of it. Some of our outpatient rotations also we get, it might be one of those situations where even if you're a PGY2, the attending will do one side and the resident, even if it's a 2, will do the other side. Do you have sports coverages? Oh, I'm running short on time. Sports coverage of junior college nearby. Yes, we work closely with NYTCOM. So one of the sports meds docs there, he does football, basketball, wrestling, and action sports such as that. So we get an opportunity to go with them. Not accepting applications. Do we apply after PGY 1 year? We're an advanced program, so you don't apply for the PGY 1 year. I'll look into that to see what the deal is with that, if they open it up on our end or not. Let me find out for you. But typically we're PGY 2, 3, and 4 program, so advanced.
Awesome. Great